Hello, Algebros. We are going to talk about factoring today, and more specifically, factoring out the GCF. So hopefully this is more of a refresher and a review for you. So let's get started. So when we are factoring out the GCF, we want to look at the coefficients as well as the variables. So we would look for the greatest common factor of 16 and 4. And I know you probably know it off the top of your head, but we're going to list it out just for the purpose of showing this first one. So 16p to the 4th, those factors would be 1, 4, and, 1, 2, 4, 8, and 16, and then p, because p to the 4th power would be p. Okay, and 4 times p to the 3rd would be 1, 2, and 4, and p. So when we're looking for the GCF, we want to find the biggest number that they have in common, which would be 4. And we want to include all of the variables that they have in common, which would be 1, 2, 3 p's. So our GCF would be 4p cubed. That's what we are going to pull out of this. So that means we're going to divide each of these by 4p cubed. So 4 goes into 16 4 times, and p to the 4th divided by p cubed would be p, plus 4 goes into 4 once, and p cubed divided by p cubed would be 1. So that would be your final answer. Okay, let's look at number 2. Again, you might know it right off the bat, but let's just go ahead and list these out. So 9x, the factors would be 1, 3, 9, and x. And 36 would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 4 times 9, 3 times 12, 2 times 18, and then 36. Oh, and 6 times 6. Whoops. Okay. So we want to find the largest factor that they have in common and any variables. So they both share the factor of 9, but since 36 doesn't have an x on it, they don't share any variables. So our GCF is just 9. So we're going to divide each of these terms by 9, and it comes out here. So 9x divided by 9 would just be x, and 36 divided by 9 would be 4. Okay, let's do a couple without as much work. So for 6n cubed minus 3n to the 5th. So the greatest common factor between 3 and 6 would be 3. And the most variables that they have in common are 3. So 6n cubed divided by 3n cubed would be 2, minus 3 divided by 3 is 1, and n to the 5th divided by n cubed is n squared. Okay. If you have forgotten those exponent rules, here they are real quick. So I'd write these down. So if you have the same base number and you are dividing, which is what you're doing when you're factoring, you're dividing out, you subtract your exponents. So, for example, if you have x to the 5th divided by x squared, it'd be x 5 minus 2, which would be x cubed. And to show that expanded out, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, So when you divide the same number with itself, it's 1. So those would divide out, leaving you 3 x's left, which is how you get the easy to remember rule. So you can just subtract them. So notice 5 minus 3 is 2. So if you need a refresher on the quotient rule of exponents, there it is real quick. We're going to slide over and look at number 3. So 63 and 45b. So 9 goes into 63 and 45. So I believe that's going to be our greatest common factor. Let's see. 9 goes into 63 7 times, plus 9 goes into 45 5, and we still have a b. 5 and 7 don't share a factor, so we can't factor any further. That would be our final solution, our final answer. Number 5. Anytime that you have a leading coefficient that has a negative, you always want to take that negative out. So we're going to take negative 6r to the 4th out, leaving with r plus 1. So if you take the negative out, it changes the sign of everything. All right, number 6. We look 63 and 35. 63 and 35 don't share a factor that's greater than 1. No, they do. Just kidding. 7. Wow. Okay. 7, and the largest number of x's that they have in common would be 6. So 7 goes into 63 9 times, and 12 minus 6 would be 6, leaving us with x to the power of 6 minus 7 goes into 35 5 times. And if we take all of the x's out, we don't have any x's left. All right, let's look at number 7. So if we have 3 terms, we want to look at all 3 terms, and we have 14, 21, 21. They all share a factor of 7. They also all share an a. So the biggest number that they all have would just be 1a. Because this term right here doesn't have 2 a's and it doesn't have 3 a's, but each one of them have 1. So we're going to take a 7 out and an a. So again, we're doing the same process. We're going to divide by that value we're taking out. 7 goes into 14 twice. A divided by a is 1. Plus 7 goes into 21 3 times. A squared divided by a would leave us with 1a. And 7 goes into 21 3 times. And a cubed divided by a would be a squared. I am going to reverse this and write it in standard form. It's good practice. All right, so if we look at number 8, our coefficients are 10, 9, and 1. So 1 is the only one that they share, but they all have an n on them. So we're going to take an n out, leaving us with 10n squared minus 9n plus 1. Okay, so you kind of get the gist of that. And if you can factor further, we will factor further. But for these ones, I just wanted to show you taking out the GCF.